Hey everybody, welcome back to Jeff Bull Central. So we're checking out Baldur's Gate 3 on the PS5, which is really cool. I am not a huge PC gamer. I just never seem to have the oomph in a computer to do some serious PC gaming. So I'm mostly a console guy. If you watch my channel, you gotta know that about me. But one thing I absolutely love, especially in a game that is just so incredibly robust and dynamic and game-changing as Baldur's Gate 3, is some good old-fashioned split-screen multiplayer, man. Oh my god. When I heard that this game was coming to PS5 and that you could play it in split-screen, I kind of lost. I flipped my wig, okay? This wig that I'm wearing, I don't wear a wig, by the way, just to let you know, but this wig that I'm wearing, it flipped right off my head. And so here we are. This is now about 3 or 4 weeks after the game launched on PlayStation 5. It's about 2 months or so since the game launched from early access into actual availability, full availability on the PlayStation. I'm sorry, on the PC. I don't really know what to say about this game that hasn't been said, just the game itself, regardless of how it plays on PS5 in split screen, because that's really what this video is about. How this game plays on PS5 and specifically how it plays in split screen. But let's just talk about Baldur's Gate 3 real quick. It's widely becoming considered one of the most influential games of this year, the last 5 years, the last 10 years, pick. Especially as far as role-playing games go, but anything. And basically that comes down to how big it is, how fully fleshed out every nook, every cranny, every side character has something to offer. And your play will be completely different from the play of your friend. You make big choices early and often that influence everything that comes afterward. You get into these amazing turn-based D&D Dungeons and Dragons fights. You roll dice for Arcana checks and stuff like that, wisdom checks and stuff, persuasion. The game is amazing, and it doesn't really matter if you know or love Dungeons and Dragons or not. If you do, it's a huge help. I'm also, in addition to not being much of a PC gamer, I'm not much of a tabletop role player. But I know everything there is to know about wanting to try it out now because I've played this delicious game. It's wonderful. It absolutely is the game of the year. Aside from how it plays on console. Now, the deal with this game is that they're bringing it to PlayStation 5, but not yet to Xbox. Originally, it wasn't going to come to Xbox at all. The reason being is the split screen itself. They weren't able to put split screen on the Xbox Series S, which is the lesser of the two options for Xbox available at the moment, right? So it's only on PS5 for the time being. It will be on Xbox here in the next few months, we believe. But again, the selling point of console, if you ask me, if you got a buddy to play with, not everybody's got a friend in the house, up the street, whatever it is, a brother, a sister, a wife. All this footage that you see here is my wife and I, okay? So, as you can see, there's a lot of concurrent events happening. She's talking to a specific NPC while I'm doing actions, looking around, looting. You can totally break up the parties and explore the entire map without being on the same screen. It's pretty cool. Because, again, it's so robust. Like, think of the most intelligent video game you've ever played and kind of crank that up a little. This is like the next notch up from what we've done before. This is a very exciting game. And so let's talk about some of the technical sides of developing a video game like this, and then deciding like a crazy person to port it to a lesser console, to a lesser system, which would be a video game console. From PC, it is a drop down if you're talking about the highest specs. And then furthermore, making it split screen, couch co-op, single couch. So the first thing that happens when you do that is you've got to double the world completely. The console has to manufacture the game world twice. So the first thing that happens is the frame rate gets cut in half. If you play this game solo on PS5, you're going to notice that it's in 60 frames a second. It looks smooth as butter. Okay. But then when you add that second on top of it, it splits the frame rate. But that also means there's going to be a lot of frame rate dips, and I mean it's often, especially if you're doing something like, say you're moving to your a campsite, which is kind of off the screen, and then your partner is doing dialogue or initiating some kind of action or just exploring. The slowdown on the screen, it lasts for about 3 to 5 seconds of complete dead stillness. Okay, so that's not just lag, that's not just slowdown, that is the game freezing for 5 seconds and then continuing, okay? So that happens often in split screen on PS5. It happens all the time. And we notice that the longer we play our game, the more hours we input into it, the more the slowdown seems to be occurring, and we've put a fair amount of hours into it now. So that's one of the things that gets sacrificed. Oddly enough, when you go from the split screen to a single screen, like say you're having a conversation and your partner decides to listen in, and then it wipes out the dual screen thing and goes to single screen, it pops back into 60 frames a second, and you're sort of left for a second a little disoriented by the frame rate change, kind of wishing it was always 60 frames a second, but it's a compromise you're willing to make. The other thing that's really troubling us is the partying system. Now, this is Dungeons and Dragons, so you need a party. If you try to do this alone or just the two of you, you're going to get tromped, okay, I promise. Not an easy game. If you play it on easy, no one's going to fault you for it. Not this one. This is a hard game, truly. I mean, I don't want to oversell it, whatever. Mileage may vary. But when you're partying up, you can have your character have one additional non-playable hero, or two, or you can split them. Every time we load the game from having stopped for a while, it completely disbands our party, and we have to spend, I don't know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, going back to our campsite, dismissing them, asking them to join our party again, just so that we can have them all in one place and under our control, and following us, because like I said, you can split parties and travel whole across the map, and you didn't even notice you're missing your non-playables. So everything else seems to work okay as long as you're okay with the slowdown, as long as you're okay with some items tending to be a little mismanaged. Playing everything on a controller instead of a keyboard and mouse, it's hard to select objects a lot of the time. So we're not talking about a perfect port here. As much as I'd love this to be just as good as it is on PC, it's kind of not. So the score for this game is going to be an 8 out of 10, begrudgingly. The game itself is a 10 out of 10. And the game, if you play it on PS5 by yourself, is probably a 9 out of 10. But in split screen, I'm deducting 2 points. It's extremely addictive, but it's frustrating at times. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video about Baldur's Gate. I'd like you to do me another favor and check out my new album. It just came out on all the streaming platforms you can imagine, including here on my YouTube channel for free. Just go to my channel, go to my music section, check it out, listen to it however you want, but there's a lot of really good tunes on here. I'm very proud of it. 10 brand new original songs, rock, some pop type stuff. You'll like it, I promise. It's good. That's Bridges Burned by Audiophile. That's me. Bridges Burned by Audiophile. That's me. Always love how quickly YouTube devolves into monetization. Totally commercialed out. Have a fun time with the Baldur's Gate.